Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Gaming Roundtable. Today we're reviewing one of my, other games, Alvin and the Chipmunks on the PlayStation 2. This particular title was also released on the Wii and the DS, and, it's time for you to know what we thought of it. Now, before we start talking about the game itself, I want to let all the Roundtable viewers out there know a little bit about the history of Alvin and the Chipmunks. I know a lot of you people out there probably already know the story, but in case you don't, here's a brief, very brief history lesson. Alvin and the Chipmunks were invented back in the 50s, specifically 1957, by a man named Ross Bagdasarian Sr., also known as Dave Seville on the records. He created the Chipmunks by basically speeding up his voice on the records. It's not exactly what you would think, but it is pretty neat. This phenomenon spawned quite a few records, the most famous being, of course, the Chipmunk song. Ross Bagdasarian Sr., unfortunately, suddenly died in 1972. And, as a result, his son, Ross Bagdasarian Jr., took the reins in the early 80s. This spawned a TV show as well as countless other records, the most famous of which released in the early 80s was Chipmunk Punk. Here's a clip from the TV show, just to give you a general idea of what we're talking about here.
Very nice, Yum Yum.
Hi, Dave.
Simon! I want you to meet Yaki. Where'd she go?
I can't stay, Dave. I left the water running in the room. Hi, Dave.
Theodore, this is Yum Yum. Where'd she go?
We can't keep this up forever, Suki. It's working so far. I can't stay for dinner, Dave. I'm, full.
You? Full?
Hi, Dave.
Alvin! Why are you wearing lipstick?
You see, that's my wig. You're standing on my hem. Give me that.
Simon! Theodore! Alvin!
Okay. That's basically the Chipmunks. Now, I want to be fair in saying that I'm a big fan of the Chipmunks. I love the TV show, I think the movie's good, and I like all the records. Yeah, laugh all you want, Roundtable fans. But when I came across this game, I thought to myself, okay, this looks like something that'll have all the ingredients that a Chipmunk game really needs. It's a rhythm action game. Makes sense, right? The Chipmunks are a band. It's also about them making their way up to rock and roll stardom, a fictional concert called Rockathonapalooza, kind of like Hollapalooza or something like that. And it looks like it'll work.
I want it.
And then you actually get to play it. Rajan, could you tell us what you think about the graphics of Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. They were really bad. I mean, the only graphics of the game really were the actual concerts that you played, where you saw Alvin, Simon, and Theodore playing their specific instruments on stage, and they didn't really try with the graphics for that. For the processing power that the PS2 has, they didn't really try doing anything with that. Also, the transitions from each level were just basically like little posters on screen of Alvin, Simon, Theodore, and Simon, all basically talking, but like there was just a picture and voiceovers over the picture, so the graphics pretty much suck. For graphics, they didn't try. 1 out of 5. What is your take on the graphics?
Well, Rajan, the graphics for Alvin and the Chipmunks. Oh man, how I can be so sorely disappointed. I want to be fair in saying that the Chipmunks themselves, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, are actually rendered rather well for the processing power of the PlayStation 2. They're rendered, of course, after the models of the film characters as opposed to the cartoon characters from the 1980s. I gotta say though, the backgrounds are just complete and utter crap, and the animations are so stiff. I mean, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore repeat the same animations throughout all the different stages, and Alvin, for some odd reason, I don't know, you gotta keep an eye on this monk, because he seems to just be doing random things for no apparent reason. There's been 3 songs I played when he just randomly broke out and started breakdancing. I don't know why, I don't know the rhyme or reason behind it, he just kind of did it. And every time there's a victory sequence, Alvin will either attempt to break the guitar and then drop it, just kind of cheer, or set the guitar on fire. I don't know what the heck they were thinking with this. Honestly, the graphics were just bad. And as far as the cutscenes go, well, they're still pictures. Yeah, that's all they are. And the sad thing is, they're the best part of the game. Well, for graphics, I give Alvin and the Chipmunks a 2 out of 5.
I'm not gonna take this lying down.
Rajan, could you tell us what you thought of the sound of Alvin and the Chipmunks?
The sound of the game is probably the only redeeming part of the game. It actually has pretty good track listing for the songs that you can play. A lot of memorable songs that you can play that are, of course, as Newton likes to put it, have been monked, as you can put it. Basically, does the voice of Dave, which is actually pretty cool, and they actually do have some voices from the other Chipmunk characters that have played them. So that's actually a pretty cool pretty cool thing they did for the game. Other than that, it's the only redeeming qualities to the game, in my honest opinion. Sound? I'm sorry, but not even Jason Lee can save this game. But still, overall, pretty good soundtrack. I give it a 3 out of 5.
I'll probably go into insulin shock, but it's worth it.
Newton, what's your take on it?
Well, Rajan, the sound of Alvin and the Chipmunks, you know, it's funny. I agree with you. This is the only part of the game that actually didn't make me want to jump out the window. The soundtrack itself contained a lot of memorable songs, including the Chipmunk song, Christmas Don't Be Late, which everybody already knows. It also has a Chipmunks cover of All the Small Things, Chipmunks cover of Video Killed the Radio Star, Karma Chameleon. I mean, there's a lot of really good songs. The only problem is having to play them, but we're not talking about that right now. I also want to mention for the voiceovers, Jason Lee does do Dave Seville, which is pretty cool. Ross Bagdasarian Jr. and Janice Carmen, who are the voices of the Chipmunks on the 80s TV show, do the voices for Alvin, Simon, and Theodore respectively, which is pretty awesome. So I'll give them props on the sound, but it's amazing where they went wrong. And for sound, actually, the sound is quite good. I give it a 4 out of 5.
Oh yes, life is sweet. What are you doing here? Sending you back where you belong. No way, Dud. I believe